Hey friends, welcome. January 13th, 2025. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if Jesus were walking among us today? Imagine him right here, living in our world, facing our modern challenges. What would he do? Where would he go? How would he respond to the struggles we face every day? Today we're going to take a journey through January 13th, 2025, and imagine what a day in the life of Jesus might look like if he were living among us. But this isn't just a thought experiment. It's an invitation to reflect on how we can live more like him. So, let's walk through this day together and see how Jesus' example can inspire us to bring his light into the world, one moment, one day at a time. Picture this. It's early in the morning, the world is still quiet, and Jesus is already awake. He finds a peaceful place. A park bench, a rooftop, or maybe a simple room, and begins his day in prayer. He's not rushing through a checklist or saying a quick thank you before scrolling on his phone. No, he's fully present, connecting with his Father. In that prayer, he's thanking God for a new day, seeking guidance, and lifting up the people he knows he'll meet today. It's a deep, meaningful conversation that sets the tone for everything that follows. Now, let's pause for a second. How often do we start our day like that? I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm lucky if I even remember to pray when I'm halfway through my first cup of coffee. But Jesus shows that taking even a few minutes to be still and connect with God can transform the way we approach our day. By mid-morning, Jesus is out and about, walking through the heart of the city. He's not headed to the most glamorous spots. He's going where the need is greatest. Maybe he's visiting a homeless shelter or walking the streets where people feel forgotten. And he's not just handing out food or donations. He's sitting with people, listening to their stories, calling them by name. To a woman who feels invisible, he says, "You are seen." To a man battling addiction, he offers hope. You can start again. Think about this. Jesus could spend his time anywhere, yet he chooses to be with the people society often overlooks. That's a powerful reminder for us. How often do we go out of our way to show kindness to someone who feels unseen? Now, it's the afternoon, and Jesus has drawn a crowd. It's not in a synagogue or a church. It's in a park, a community center, or even a cafe. People from all walks of life are gathered. Students, parents, workers, skeptics. He begins to teach, and he uses stories, parables. But instead of talking about mustard seeds, maybe he's talking about social media, comparing it to a field where good and harmful seeds are sown. He warns us to be mindful of what we cultivate. He talks about forgiveness too, telling a story about a workplace conflict or a family feud. His words challenge the crowd, but they also inspire. He speaks in a way that makes everyone feel like he's talking directly to them. And here's the thing. Jesus' wisdom is timeless and it's practical. How can we take a lesson like that and apply it in our own lives today. Later in the day, Jesus visits those who are hurting. Maybe he's in a hospital, sitting by someone's bedside, or in a home, comforting a grieving family. He speaks words of peace. Do not be afraid. You are not alone. And he reminds a teenager struggling with anxiety that they are loved and have a purpose. He confronts a parent who feels overwhelmed, saying, I see you. Keep going. You're not forgotten. Now, we might think, I'm not Jesus. I can't heal people like he can. But we can offer presence and kindness. Sometimes just sitting with someone in their pain can be the most healing thing we can do. As evening falls, Jesus sits down to share a meal. It's not a fancy dinner. It's a simple gathering. Maybe it's at a soup kitchen or around someone's kitchen table. What makes the meal special isn't the food, it's the connection. Jesus listens as people share their stories. He encourages them, builds them up, and reminds them that they belong. Around the table there's laughter, conversation, and a sense of community. This is such a beautiful part of Jesus' life. His ability to make people feel included and valued. And here's the question for us. When was the last time we shared a meal like that, where everyone felt welcome and loved? At the end of the day, Jesus returns to prayer. He reflects on the lives he touched, the lessons he shared, and the challenges he faced. He thanks God for the opportunity to serve and prays for the people he met, the lonely, the sick, the grieving. And as he prays, he surrenders it all to the Father, trusting that tomorrow will bring new opportunities to love and serve. You know, gratitude, it's such a powerful thing. How often do we take time at the end of the day to thank God, even for the small things? What if we made that a daily habit? So, that's January 13th, 2025, in the life of Jesus, starting in prayer, serving the marginalized, sharing wisdom, healing the broken, building community, and ending in gratitude. The question now is, what can we take from his example and apply to our own lives? How can we bring his love, his compassion, and his wisdom into our homes, workplaces, and communities tomorrow? This is just one day, but the journey doesn't end here. Come back tomorrow as we continue to walk through 2025 day by day with Jesus, exploring what it means to live with his purpose in our modern world. Until then, remember, every moment is an opportunity to reflect his light. Let's go out and live like Jesus would, starting now. Before you leave, I'd like to offer a prayer for the hopes, needs, and intentions that you currently hold in your heart. I'll lead. You ready? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, hug your families. They love you. And I'll be back tomorrow with another day in Jesus' life in 2025, January 14th. I'll see you tomorrow, friends. Take care. Bye-bye.